What is going on, peasants? My name is JB, and the patch notes for this gigantic update have finally officially been, not really leaked. They've been put in the game so we can go ahead and take a look at them to officially see what all is changing in this update. And it looks to be a pretty big one. There was a, just Switch update for it, and then there's also the update in game. So this is a pretty big one. We knew it was going to be a big update. It always is at the end of a battle pass. So, and there's just a lot more going on this time around. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what all this update has in store for us. But before we do that, I will be live later tonight once the servers are back up at 2 a.m. my time. So roughly 3 hours from now, by the time I'm recording this, probably closer to like 2.5 hours by the time this gets up. You get the idea. When the servers are up, I'll be live playing Mew. Come hang out. I'm going to be probably streaming until the wee hours of the morning, probably all the way into the day. Who knows? I'm going to be live for a long time right here on YouTube. So come hang out. I'd love to have you there. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at this. So update details. The amount of AOS energy earned from battles has been adjusted. Instead of earning more energy by winning, you now earn more energy the better you perform in battle. I don't know how much I like that. That's pretty cool. I guess you could probably still get a good amount, and like even if you lose, so like if you play really well but lose, maybe that'll force people to play better. Probably not. It'll probably just force people to run off and score more, which honestly might be more of the meta on the new map. We'll see, but I guess that's a cool change. New achievement missions have been added. The difficulty of achievement missions for Greedent, ABSOL, and Zero Aura has been lowered. Okay, I don't care about that. I like having more missions. The one I want lowered is the damn sticker one. The damn sticker sets for Unite squads. I need that one lowered. I've done it like 6 times over and I've only gotten it once. Does anyone have that specific Unite squad sticker achievement? If you have that fully completed, please tell me how, because I've done it multiple times, I feel like, and I haven't gotten it. Anyway, new content has been added to the gallery. You can now read the Pokemon Unite manga. Come on over to AOS Island. There's Unite manga. Does that have something to do with the gym leaders? That might. I don't know, but either way, there's a Unite manga. I guess that's cool. The option has been added to battle without using Pokemon boost emblems or their effects. I guess it's cool. Maybe that's like a tournament mode thing. I guess that's what they're still calling it. Maybe it's that. Maybe like a custom game option. I would assume that's what that is. That'd be pretty cool. Otherwise, maybe I don't think they'd have like a separate queue for that, but if they do, that's really weird. I don't think boost emblems are broken. I know that's an unpopular opinion, especially now that they've nerfed cooldown and crit, so it's cool. A feature allowing you to unlock additional custom loadouts. Yes, thank you. I've been having to switch my third one, so now I can have multiple. I can have more. I can have one just dedicated to the 3 good builds, which is, your tanky HP one for your all-arounders and your defenders. You have your cooldown one, you have your crit one, and now I can just do my dumb content one. So that's awesome. I love that. The effects gained when combining certain amount of black Pokemon boost emblems have been adjusted. Yep, they nerfed black emblems. The effects gained from boost Pokemon's emblems effects on attack, special attack, and critical hit rate have been adjusted. I don't know if they nerfed or buffed the attack and special attack ones, but they did nerf crit. We know that the gold ones only give you 0.6 instead of 1% now, so that's pretty cool. Unite move effects. Unite move effects and their visuals have been improved. They've also been adjusted to include added effects that correlate to the user's role as described below. So before we read the specifics, I just want to go ahead and explain this. So you know how you used to be able to just pop an ult and basically everyone would get this gigantic movement speed and attack increase, and you just become just this demon after already using your big Unite move? Well, they changed that. You no longer just go Super Saiyan crazy after you unite. You now have these specific effects based on class. So for speedsters, for a short time after using a Unite move, the user acquires a shield effect and its movement speed is greatly increased. So you move a lot faster as a speedster and you get a shield. That's pretty cool. I really like that for Gengar. That could be pretty useful on Zera. I'm not sure how useful that'll be on Talon or ABSOL. Actually, ABSOL probably appreciates that as well. So I don't know. Talon's in a weird spot, but I like that. It's pretty cool. For Defender, the user acquires a strong shield effect and its movement speed is slightly increased. That's basically the same thing. I guess they just took away attack bonuses. I don't even know if there were attack bonuses previously, but I feel like there were, but that's cool. Just another big shield. It's a bigger shield, obviously. For a short time for attackers, to get a weak shield and the movement speed is slightly increased, and either its attack speed is greatly increased or its move cooldowns are reduced. I imagine that for physical attackers like the Duraludon, Cinderace, Decidueye, Greninja, their attack speed are increased, and for your special attackers, your Ninetales, all the other special, I don't really need to explain that one. They get their cooldowns reduced. I like that a lot, and especially I like that they added the distinction between characters. It'd be really cool, actually, for specifically a character like Ninetales, if its attack speed went up for the Aurora Veil build. That'd be really cool. I doubt they would separate it like that. It's probably just physical and special. But it'd be really cool if it were, you know, Pokemon specific. Like, I'm thinking just Ninetales specifically would really appreciate the attack speed. I'm sure there are others. Like Glaceon 2 would probably appreciate attack speed more than cooldown. We'll see. All-arounder. For a short time, blah, 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 blah. The user acquires a weak shield. Its movement speed is slightly increased, and either its attack speed is greatly increased or its move cooldowns are reduced. So same thing. I'm really not sure how they're going to separate the all-rounders from that, but either way, it's cool. And then for supporters, they acquire a weak shield, their movement speed increase, and their cooldowns are greatly reduced. Oh, greatly reduced cooldowns on supporters. That's really awesome. Okay. All in all, I like the Unite changes. Not everyone just becomes a crazy demon that can kill everything. You have to be more wary of how you use them. You can't just, you know, use them and then run like you could a lot of the time. But for some of the Pokemon, you still can. But either way, I think it's a really cool change. That's awesome. The specific events may vary per Pokemon, battle pass updates, rank match updates, blah, 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 blah. Okay, don't care. Let's get to the good stuff. Changes have been made to some Pokemon stats and moves to adjust the balance of Unite battles. Here's the big one. This is the one I'm most excited for. I tweeted about this, and I've talked about this in every single tier list I've done for like the last 2 or 3 months. Mr. Mime is going to be a demon, and before we read more of this, I think Mr. Mime won this patch. We knew about this from the PTS. I think Mr. Mime might win this patch. So Mr. Mime's boosted attack changed to becomes a boosted attack whenever a set amount of time passes, dealing the increased damage and throwing a Pokemon when it hits. So basically, you don't get your Night move every, or your boosted basic every time you use your third basic. I think they changed how, there's basically a cooldown on it. There's a cooldown on it. That's a little bit of a nerf, but everything else about this character got buffed. Light Screen creates a wall of light that prevents the opposing Pokemon from passing. If an opposing Pokemon is near the location where the wall of light is created, they are shoved and left unable to attack for a short time. Light Screen and Barrier stun now on cast. This is ridiculous. Mr. Mime already had one of the most annoying stuns in the game with Confusion, and then they made it so Light Screen and Barrier both stun just instantly. Like if you cast them and they're close, boom, stun. It's just a stun. It's just a great buff. That's crazy. Very crazy. Psychic. So here's the big one. Psychic guard swap. I am so excited for this. I don't know if they nerfed Confusion. I heard they did. We'll see. Change to releases a telekinetic blast on opposing Pokemon near the user, near any guard swap Pokemon, or near any light screen or barrier walls created by the user, damaging all opposing Pokemon hit by the blast, ignoring their special defense for a short time. If an opposing Pokemon is hit by multiple overlapping blasts, that Pokemon is also left unable to act. So you have a stun now on Psychic, and on top of, you know, guard swap, lowering Spadef like exponentially. Like, bro, Psychic might be viable. Psychic used to be one of the worst moves in the game. We'll see how viable it is. We'll see if it's better than Confusion. But here's the big one. Power swap. Did they change it to guard swap? I'm not really sure. But, oh my god. At level 6, you get this. I've been saying for a long time, all they needed to do was switch guard swap plus and Confusion plus. So you get guard swap plus at 11. Because guard swap plus is one of the best heals in the game. Well, now you get the old guard swap plus all game. Creates a link between the user and the Pokemon this move hits. While the link holds, the user's movement speed increases and the HP is continually restored. If the linked Pokemon is an ally Pokemon, this move increases the movement speed of that Pokemon, increases the amount of damage it deals, and continually restores HP. Continually restores HP. This Pokemon just became an insane healer. You guys are familiar with Overwatch? It's Mercy Beam, essentially. It's both Mercy Beams at the same time. It's Mercy Ult. You boost attack and you heal. Just continually. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy. Felicity S competition for a healer. This is insane. I've wanted this for so long, but I didn't want them to do this. They made Mime crazy. I am so excited for this. If the linked Pokemon is an opposing Pokemon, this move decreases that Pokemon's movement speed, decreases the amount of damage it deals, and deals damage to it over time. So you can use it on allies or enemies. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It does have a range on it, but guard swap is ridiculous. I preemptively think Mr. Mime wins this patch before even reading anything more, but bro, Mr. Mime is going to be an absolute demon. I am so excited for this character, if you guys could not tell. All right, let's move on to Cramorant. Dive, cooldown, lengthen, and air slash is cooldown is lengthen. I don't know how much the dive is going to really matter. The air slash shouldn't really matter at all. Obviously, they lowered cooldowns in general, and Cramorant was really, really overpowered with the cooldown emblem specifically. So it might matter a little bit more in that regard, but air slash already has built-in cooldown. I believe it's regular air slash. I know air slash plus for sure you get cooldown reduction based on how many like the things that shoot out. If you hit all of them, the more of them you hit, the more your cooldown reduces. So you already had a lot of built-in cooldown with Air Slash. And again, I don't know if that's regular Air Slash or just Air Slash Plus. But either way, it already has a lot of built-in cooldown. So I don't really think the Air Slash cooldown is going to matter too much. Dive will probably matter a little bit, but you do have charges on it. I think Cramp's still going to be really good. Because it didn't mess with the damage, it looks like. Hyper Beam, they've nerfed Hyper Beam once again. The Dragon Dance cooldown has been lengthened, which sucks. I believe it went from 5 seconds to 5.5 seconds, so it's not huge, but it's still annoying. And then the damage dealt to opposing Pokemon has been decreased for Hyper Beam, so that's pretty cool. I believe it still does crazy damage to objectives. I could be wrong about that. It doesn't say anything here, obviously, so I think you're still going to do really good damage to objectives, so it's probably still one of the better secures in the game. Dragonite's probably always going to be pretty decent with Hyper Beam. All right, here's the big one. Stomp. Damage dealt to opposing Pokemon decreased and the cooldown was lengthened. Yes. And there's been leaks from data miners, and the changes look pretty significant. The percentages look pretty significant. So I think Serena's reign of terror as the best character in the game might be over. But then again, it's another Pokemon where cooldown probably won't matter too much because of Queenly Majesty, but they also, according to those leaks I was just talking about, they did nerf the also Queenly Majesty buff damage. So who's to say how useless Stomp's going to be? But the thing is, Triple Axel's still pretty good. So I think Serena's still going to be fine. It's just you might run some Triple Axel. Yeah, hopefully Serena's in a better spot because it was one of, if not the most impressive Pokemon in the game. Blissey. This is another big one. So the boosted attack, they fixed bugs that affected the following activation timing. That's fine. But Soft Boil's HP restoration has been decreased, so you heal less with Soft Boiled. That is pretty damn needed. Although Safeguard has been coming more into meta recently with stuff like Buzzwole and just in general being a great move to just cleanse an enemy, teammate. So yeah, I mean, Blissey's still going to be insane. I don't think this is a significant decrease. I mean, obviously any nerf is good because Blissey's crazy. It's Unite's still going to be really good, and they didn't touch that. So yeah, all right. Speaking of things that Blissey just completely makes irrelevant, Machamp Submission. Submission's terrible. Cool, its cooldown was reduced. Still an awful move. Absolutely awful move. So many characters in the game get stuff that can just get ways around dodging Submission. It's bad. But to make up for that, they nerfed the damage dealt by Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch is just better mobility, and it sets up your attacks. It sets up your cross chop. It sets up your close combat better. I could be wrong. I don't think Submission's going to be used. I think Dynamic Punch is probably still going to be better. I don't think this is a big deal. All right, Espeon. Espeon needs some buffs. Espeon definitely needs some buffs. I think Espeon is terrible. But I don't know if this is enough. They just reduced the cooldown on Psybeam and Future Sight. So they didn't touch Psyshock, which is good, because Psyshock was the one thing about this character's kit that was good, but they reduced the cooldowns on the other two things, which is nice, I guess. And then they upgraded Sword Power. It's going to need to be a significant buff to Sword Power to make this character good. Sword Power is also pretty terrible, but there might be something there with Future Sight Sword Power. We'll see. And then the Unite move, it gets its charge rate increased, so you get your Unite move more often. Its Unite move's pretty decent. So I don't know if these changes will be enough to make Espeon meta, or make Espeon not the worst character in the game. It probably won't be the worst character in the game after this. We'll see. But yeah, Espeon, I mean, cool. Little buffs. Definitely probably gonna need a little bit more love in the future. Next up, we have Glaceon. Icy Wind's damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increase. So they buffed Icy Wind. Icy Wind already did really good damage. It's a really good execute. And they buffed that. That's really good. That's really cool. Then Icicle Spirit duration of effects on the user decreased. So you probably don't get to keep your stacks as long. That's probably pretty needed. And they fixed bugs. I assume that was the bug that just insta-killed people. So that's a very good fix. Glaceon is probably going to be insane because Icy Wind was already pretty good. It's just Icicle Spirit was ridiculous. So Glaceon is probably going to be insane. Icy Wind specifically, I don't think that move needed a buff at all. I just think they needed to nerf Icicle Spirit. Glaceon's going to be nuts. Next up, we have some Wigglytuff. Double Slap's cooldown was reduced and damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased. That's fine. Double Slap was never really picked over Dazzling Gleam, but maybe we'll see that now with a reduced cooldown and more damage. Razor Claw, dare I say Razor Claw Wiggly might be a thing, because Wigglytuff can crit, believe it or not. I believe it can crit. It used to be able to. Let me double check that before I move on. I'm almost positive Wigglytuff's attack crit. All of Wigglytuff's attacks and damaging moves can critically strike. Okay, so could we see some crazy Razor Claw shenanigans with Double Slap? I think that'd be pretty funny. I don't know. Wigglytuff, it's as long as this Blissey character exists, and as long as Safeguard exists, I don't know if we'll ever see a time where Blissey's top of the meta, or Wigglytuff's top of the meta again, as long as Blissey's around. But let's go to give it a little something. Buzzwole. Leech Life's cooldown is reduced and damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased. Thank you. Leech Life was terrible. It was really cool, but it relied too much on having your attack gauge filled, which is really hard because Buzzwole just kind of exploded, especially if you're running the Leech Life build, because you need the Leech Life to do damage or you're just dead. So buffing that is cool. And then Smackdown, the damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased and the range increased and effects on user strengthened. So they really buffed Smackdown. Okay, I can see this being really good for Buzzwole. It's another Pokemon that's going to really struggle with Blissey, but this might not matter as much. Yeah, good changes for Buzzwole. We'll take it. Groudon's Dragon Tail cooldown was lengthened, I guess. Sure. Dragon Tail, I mean, it went from... It's like a 1.1 second cooldown to a 2 second cooldown. It's not the... Like, you can... I think you can still use both charges whenever, but it's the full, like, recharge rate. That got... nerfed, I believe is why it got nerfed. Could be wrong, don't quote me. And then Delphox's Flame Charge, cooldown reduced. It already has so much built-in cooldown reduction, I don't know why we needed to do this, but I'll take it. That's pretty cool. Love Flame Charge Delphox. Delphox is one of my favorite characters in the game, and I think it's one of the best characters in the game. So yeah, definitely going to be nothing but a positive change for Delphox. I mean, Fire Spin's still good as well. There's not a single bad move in Delphox's kit once you get Delphox. Breaks and the other character, Fennekin, are pretty trash, but you get Delphox at level 6 and you're a damn demon. All right, Tyranitar. So this is the thing that a lot of people were worried about, because it was worded once the leaks initially dropped that they were buffing Dark Pulse and Ancient Power. Well, that was just the old, that was just from the test server a long time ago. It was never getting buffed, but they are in fact nerfing Dark Pulse and Ancient Power. The shield effect has been weakened on Ancient Power, and the move's movement speed increase has been weakened. Definitely needed. Ancient Power was crazy, and then Dark Pulse the damage out to opposing Pokemon. So just an overall nerf to the better build, and Tyrannical Rampage has also been nerfed. I don't know if it's all needed a nerf. Maybe, I bet what they did is they just increased the threshold to insta-KO someone, but its Unite move was honestly pretty terrible. It was only really good if you clean up a fight with it. Like, you're never starting a fight with it. You're never like walking into a Dreadnought 1v5 and doing anything about that with its Unite move. You could do that with Ancient Power Dark Pulse, but its Unite move specifically was pretty terrible. So overall, big nerf to T-Tar. Probably needed it. Again, I don't think its Unite move was too crazy, but yeah, definitely needed the changes to Dark Pulse, Ancient Power. But Santum, Stone Edge on the come up. That build was never bad. It's just this build was broken. All right, Crustle had some bug fixes to Stealth Rock. Cool. Lucario bug power up punch fixed bugs that affected the following maximum range. So not sure if that was it. I mean, that's a good thing. So Lucario buff, we're in a power up punch patch, boys. So that's cool. Yeah, we never gonna see a Lucario nerf, are we? Leftovers got buffed. Okay, Leftovers with a little bit of a buff. That's pretty cool. Not gonna complain about that. I assume it has to be, to make Leftovers good, either has to be constant healing, which it won't be, or it needs to be a lowered cooldown out of battle and more HP. It needs both. It needs both. It can't be one or the other to be good. It needs both to be good. Even then, it probably still won't be good, but we'll see. Soul Vest had its effects strengthened. We're gonna need specifics on that, but awesome. And Rocky Helmet and Floatstone. So they buffed the shit items. That's awesome. Item buffs. Let's go. We need more item changes in this game. We need new items. Is what we really need. I would love to see some new items. There's so many cool things to do. Give us a fucking Life Orb, dude. Why don't we have a Life Orb in this game? I'd take a little bit of recoil if my moves got like 3% more damage or something. That'd be awesome. But yeah, cool. All in all, I really like a lot of these changes. I love these item changes. I love any item buffs we get. I think there are like 4 good items in this game for most Pokemon, and buffing these does nothing but help the entire game. I like that. Other winners, let's look at winners first. Obviously, the big one is Mr. Mime. I think Mr. Mime is a big winner of this patch. Mr. Mime is the obvious winner of this patch. So excited for that. Another big winner is Espeon. Glaceon is going to be insane. I think Glaceon is right up there. And then Buzzwole obviously also got some really big buffs. The losers, Tyranitar got completely destroyed and it needed it. Serena hopefully got destroyed and definitely needed it. Those are the 2 big losers. All in all, I think this is going to be a really fun patch. I'm very excited to play the new map. The meta is changing. The game is changing so much. Mew is going to be a game changer. And I cannot wait at about an hour and a half until, no, 2.5 hours until the patch goes live. Again, I'll be streaming it right here on this very YouTube channel, so please come hang out. I'd love to have you there. And while you're here, if you enjoy this, little breakdown, please be sure to drop a sub. I'd really appreciate that. Catch y'all later tonight. Have a good one. Peace.